Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing? I'm excited. Thank you for joining tonight. We just got finished having an amazing Bible study for my honey. So if you weren't on that, you can get on there and check that out. Get your faith built. That was about an hour ago on my page. My page is popping tonight. And so we just did that. And then now we're over here talking about strategies, economic strategies, economically, so that you can understand what's happening and then prepare yourself. Because what happens a lot of times is, you can, be experiencing something, but really not understand, hey, what's happening and what does this mean for me? But I can tell you right now, this is not a time to ignore how much eggs are, or how much milk is, or how much your grocery prices have gone up, how much your gas is. Like, this is not the time to ignore that. Those are what I like to call, Loretta, those are economic cues or economic clues for us to start to strategically lean in on asset development. Anytime there's inflation, or anytime you hear people are losing money, anytime are saying, man, things are tight, you also got to know the opposite side of that is that there are people out there that are really flourishing. And there are people that are doing really well. There are people that are tons of opportunity during time is things that are happening right now, and how to invest yourself. And right now, if you do any study, and this is what we do here at Tabaverse, we do a lot of studying, a lot of think tanks, a lot of masterminding, and we're doing it every day because we want to prepare the everyday person to be prepared for, I believe, is going to be the greatest wealth transfer that the world has ever seen. And I think that this is a time to be very, very aggressive about that. And so one of the things we were studying today is looking at JP Morgan. JP Morgan just announced a couple of weeks ago that they're about to spend $1 billion. 1 billion. You know where they're going to spend it? You know where they're investing? They're investing in real estate. They're investing in residential real estate, and more specifically, single families. They're setting themselves up to be what we call mega landlords. So they know that a lot of people right now, unfortunately, are going to lose their homes. The interest rates right now are through the roof, and people have already started making the shift to the point that there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to do seller finance deals. That means that the seller had their home up on the market, it's not selling, and they're at a point where they're like, hey, I just got to get rid of this. And so if somebody comes along and they want to do a creative contract, that you'll be able to do that. When you do seller finance, you have a lot more advantage in how you negotiate that. We teach you how to look for seller finance properties. We teach you how to negotiate those properties. And it's pretty amazing because this is a time where you can really, like I said, set yourself up to take advantage of some of the things that are going to be happening and that have already started happening across the country. Rent is going through the roof right now. As a matter of fact, it is predicted that by 2027, that the average home right now, if you drive in any neighborhood throughout the nation, and you can know that right now, 60% of every home that you see is owned by a landlord. It is not owned by the person that actually lives there. Those numbers are alarming. And they said by 2027, the percentage of that is going to go up even more. So, all those kind of things are letting us know, hey, I really need to be paying attention to that. And so I'm going to share a couple things with you tonight that I want you to see why we're putting so much focus here. And hopefully, this gives you a greater sense of, what you need to be doing to prepare for this. Okay. So now hopefully I don't lose you guys. Hold on here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, you know what? No, let me do this. All right. So, yeah, I want to show you guys this article so you can see that. And again, anytime you start seeing big conglomerates, making these kinds of moves, these are definitely indicators for you to know the direction that you need to go in. I mean, the fact that it didn't say they're putting $1 billion in other commodities, pork bellies, cotton, stocks, bonds, there are a lot of things that JP Morgan could have put their money in. But the fact that they are betting on real estate like this, I think is definitely an indication, something that we really need to be paying attention to. And so let me share my screen with you guys so you can see what I see, because I want you to see this. All right, cool. Here we go. All right. I think everybody can see this. For those of you that have my number, if you don't mind coming on and saying that you see my screen. So it basically says JP Morgan is about to spend $1 billion on hundreds of rental homes across the US on the way to becoming a mega landlord. Now, look at this. JP Morgan Haven and Haven Realty Capital entered into a joint venture agreement on November 15th. The companies plan to acquire up to $1 billion in build to rent properties starting in Atlanta. When you look at the demographics of Atlanta, those are most people that look like us, right? Look like you, look like me. So to me, listen, I'm thinking to myself, I need to stake in on that, right? You don't need to be just sitting back saying, oh, that is so nice. That's what JP Morgan is doing. No, you need to be in on that too. Okay. Thanks, Stacey. I got your text. It says a new venture between one of America's largest banks and growing build to rent operator in the latest sign that big investors are undeterred by the volatile real estate market, where a lot of people might be thinking, hey, I want to wait for price, or I want to wait for interest rates to come down. And real estate prices have already come down, right? So you don't wait to a perfect market. You start paying attention to the signs. You start paying attention to the economic, news that we're seeing. It says Haven Realty and JP Morgan asset manager arms that will invest to $1 to develop, build, rent, single trade. Invest in gold, silver, a ton of they're investing in single family homes. Why? Because they realize a home or even renting a home, you're going to start to see the amount of tenants rise in the country more than what it already is. The duo plans to seed their investment with up to $415 million in equity. The first installment will include a purchase of 250 homes in 3 communities around the Atlanta metropolitan area, and the deal could close within the next 80 days. So they're not playing around with this. They are not playing around with this at all. They intend to move forward pretty quickly. And it just talks about build to rent as a useful response to the market needs. So again, they're looking at what the market needs, right? And they're looking at what the market needs, and they're like, hey, this is what we see the market needs right now, and this is what we're going to do. And so these are the things that we have to pay attention to when we start looking at, where should I be putting my money? What should I be looking at? And that's one of the things that we do here at Taviverse. We're going to help you get your credit together. We're going to help you get the capital. We've got the relationships with the banks. And that's really where a lot of people are not able to invest, because they just don't necessarily have the relationships with the banks that they need to have. And we've got those relationships. And so that becomes, very, very, very important when you start talking about, where do I want to put my money? Where should I be focusing on? What should I be looking at? And I'm telling you right now, I'm betting all day long, all day long, that money needs to be put into real estate. And I think that I'm encouraging people to move swiftly into real estate. And then you also want to look at the top 10 cities that are good to, invest in real estate. And those are relationships that we have, because all real estate deals are not created equal. You want to look at those top 10 cities to invest, in real estate, and we're going to help you with that. We're going to help you find those off-market properties, which is really, really important. You don't want to just buy, buy a house just because it's in the city that you live in, right? I would tell people go where, go where the deals are. Go where the deals are. That part is super, super, super important. And so these are things that we're doing research on, and these are the relationships that we are, really investing in and paying attention to, and making sure that we educate our members in that same thing, so that that way you guys can have, really, 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 really good success there. Okay. And I think, that's really important. So this is another thing that I want to share with you really quickly as we're looking at this, just kind of presenting the case. So I think what we're doing here at Tabaverse is so critically important right now, that we move, swiftly into this space. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this. Why invest in private real estate? Right? Private real estate has outperformed US equities and fixed income on an absolute and risk adjusted basis since 2000. So if you look at, other assets like, stocks or bonds or gold or silver, which I like gold and silver, I like oil. But when you look at all the asset classes, even crypto, now crypto did very, very well for its first 10 years. I think crypto is still a valuable asset, but I would tell anybody it's not the only thing that you need to have in your portfolio. You need to have other things in your portfolio too. So this is just a measure here looking at real estate income and inflation. And so this becomes really important. It says here, real estate can provide a potential hedge to inflation. U.S. property prices and income have historically outpaced inflation. That's strong. U.S. property prices have outpaced inflation. This statement alone is extremely important. Why is this so important? Because if you don't put yourself in a position, to outpace inflation, by default, it gets tight. Who does inflation hurt the most? The working class. Guys, this is real, real important. And it's really important to get yourself in the right community so you can get the support and do what you got to do. So U.S. property prices and income have historically outpaced inflation, making real estate an attractive investment option. Benefits of investing in real estate. Like any other asset class, investing in real estate comes with pros and cons. Adding real estate to your portfolio is huge. So look at this, right? Historically outperform U.S. equities, natural inflation hedge, lower correlation to public markets, income growth and opportunities, right? Tax efficient, all right? So these are some of the things that, that we're going to do that are really going to help you to prepare yourself and get yourself in, the right space so that you can really have, the success that I know that you really want to have. That, and this part does become very, very, very important, that you're taking a look at this. Okay. And so one of the top, so we have quite a few cities that we're recommending that we will help you to invest in, which is amazing. And we really can help you get yourself together so that you can build a nice portfolio. Why? Because think about this. Imagine this. Imagine, buying one door, then going to 5 doors, then going to 10 doors. So imagine your income going from $1,000 a month to $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month. Now you've got a great portfolio. You've got, property management team that's amazing, that's helping you with that investing. And, that's super, super strong. Hey, baby, somebody's at the door. And that becomes really, really amazing. So what I want to do now is I want to bring on someone who is a part of our community and having a lot of success with us, Miss Stacy. Hey, Stacy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, 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 good. So I'm excited. So how did you hear about Toververse?
Well, I was already a part of Tava Fit, the portion. I've been a part of Tava for almost 3 years now. So once Tavaverse came on board as one of the additional divisions to our company, I was super excited about that because I knew I was going to participate and be a part of it.
Why? Okay, so what made you, when you heard about Topiverse, what made you say, okay, I need to join them?
Well, what made me join it was the community. It contains a group of experts in their field, which I didn't know anything about it, and I know I needed that additional help because I've always had a passion for wanting to invest in real estate, but trying to do it on my own. I actually tried to do it once on my own, and I was very unsuccessful. So that's why I was super excited when Towerverse came about because I knew they were the experts in the area, and I knew they would hold my hand and help me to be successful in this area.
That's good. So what kind of work are you in now?
Well, I'm actually a retired pharmacist. I practiced pharmacy for over 25 years, but I retired about 5 years ago to take care of my ailing mom. And I actually lost my mom this past April. When I practice pharmacy, I love doing it. I just have a passion for helping people. And I know that's why I actually joined TAR because I love the products when I tried them. And I know they are so amazing and can help so many people because so many people need them in their lives and they just don't know where to turn. And the same thing with the Toververse. So many people are struggling, don't know where to turn, whether or not it's with their personal credit, business credit. A lot of people that I've spoken to since joining Toververse say that they have business, but after speaking with them, it's definitely not properly structured. So I was telling them about the Toververse and how they hold your hands and assist you every step of the way to make sure that your business is properly structured. And even if you don't have a business, they help you to create one, the LLC and all of that. So I've been actually speaking to everybody everywhere I go, spreading the information about this amazing community Toververse.
That's and and you okay, you got in for some of the first things that you started to learn.
The first thing I started to learn was actually the first thing I would say is everything that I thought I knew, I didn't know anything. So I said, guess what? I'm just going to be like a new student, erase everything that I thought I knew and start from scratch. I don't know anything. So the first thing was about the credit. I must say my credit was pretty good. But as far as like Brianna was talking, that's the credit guru, the educator. When I pulled my credit, it didn't look attractive. My name's on there 20 times, spelled all kind of ways, old addresses, old jobs. So the main thing for me, as far as my credit is concerned, I just have to clean it up to make it look good. As she say, when bankers are looking at it for the funding, you want to look attractive. So that's what I have to do. So the credit thing was my first step.
Awesome. Okay. And then you started hearing about all these off-market deals, and you just jumped right on it. You heard about the deals and I mean, you play no games. You heard about the deals and were you instinctively like, that's mine?
Exactly. I mean, I'm in the process of creating my LLC. It's not complete yet. At first, I was like wanting to get everything in order, but I'm like, no, I can't pass this up because I know opportunities don't come around often. Um, and that just like you spoke earlier on the call earlier, timing is everything. So I started thinking about that thing. So I reached out to you. I sent you a text message once I saw those deals on the call that you had done that day. And I was like, no, I got to dive in. I can't wait till my LLC is complete. I got to dive in now. So I'm just super excited and glad that I did because I was able to get the first one. And then being on the call like the day or two after that, it was another property available. I'm like, no, I'm getting that one too. So I'm just super excited about the two that I have, the two doors that I have. And I plan by the end of the year to have, as they say, a dozen or more.
I love it. I love it. I'm really proud of you. And you're coming to Detroit next week in Flint. We'll be out looking at properties. And I know we were on a Zoom earlier and you were like, oh, yeah, by the way, when I get to Detroit, I plan on buying some more properties based on what I see. And so I just want to say, congratulations. I think it's amazing that, you're jumping into it. And one of the things that we're seeing, for those of you that are listening on here, you might be thinking, well, I live in Orlando or I live in Baltimore, I live in LA. You got to think like an investor. And that's one of the things that we're going to teach you. Stacy lives in Atlanta, but she's buying in Flint. You go where the deal is, right? Don't think your city. Think, go where the deal is. If the deal is in Dallas, I'm going to Dallas. If the deal is in Chicago, I'm going to Chicago. So you don't have to just invest in the city that you live in, but become a bi-coastal deal thinker and go where those deals are. Because it's like you said, Stacey, opportunity, everything is about opportunity. Everything is about timing. And when you can learn to seize the moment, when I think about back, when I go all the way back to when I made my first $1 million, by opening up a Nextel, franchise. And then, after that in the garment industry, then after that in the gold and silver industry, I was always, God, by his grace, made sure that I was always hearing what I needed to hear when I needed to hear it. And then I had the heart to seize it. I had the heart to say, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity. But just imagine, or I'm going to wait. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today constantly procrastinating to go first or whatever. And so that's why I really respected you when you called and said, hey, I want that. And then you called again, hey, I want that. And honestly, that has to be the mindset that we all take on. If you have it, develop it. If you don't have it, you need to get it, because otherwise, you'll look up and, like Stacey said, she'll be at a dozen doors before the end of the year and having 10K or, give or take, coming in every single month because she decided to take action. And that's what I want to encourage you to do tonight. Take action. I just read to you that report with JP Morgan. Like, guys, it's happening. The wealth transfer is happening. So you can sit on the sideline and say, hey, I'm going to wait for interest rates to be lower. Can't wait for interest rates to be lower. What if you never see interest rates? You can't wait to say, I'm going to wait for groceries to be lower, and again, the working class are the ones that have the squeeze. So, and you saw that chart on inflation. That inflation is not going to slow down to let you catch up. You got to make a decision. Hey, let me get in on this real estate thing. I hear Jewel doing it. I hear Stacey doing it. I hear JP Morgan doing it. And we have a whole community of people that are doing it that look like me and you, that are moving out and really increasing our financial portfolio. So what we're doing here is really a game changer. And we only charge $150 a month. Like, that price is so, I mean, Stacey, you're on these sessions that are happening every single night where you're learning from these educators. I mean, that 150 is really a small amount of money for the $1 million, multiple $1 million portfolio that you're going to be able to develop here.
Exactly. That price is really cheap. And that's what I'm telling people. You have to invest in yourself and don't let your past determine your destiny, because there's so much more out there for you. You just have to believe in yourself and just change your mindset. It's all about mindset. And that's what I'm talking to people about as well, because this opportunity right now, like you say, it's about timing. And now is the time. Stop sitting on the sideline, just watching people do it. Go ahead and dive in and get it done yourself.
Get it done, get it done, get it done. So guys, listen, I want to encourage you to get back with the person that invited you on here tonight. If it was me, reach out to me. If it was Stacey, reach out to her, or Loretta, or Diamond, whoever it was that invited you on here tonight. Get back with them and say, listen, I'm ready to get started. It's August. It's mid-August. I am tripping, Stacey, that literally we're less than 5 months away from saying Merry Christmas. And I know if you like me, I know Jesus is the reason for the season, but it ain't nothing like Christmas and a bunch of money. And my husband can tell you, and anybody in the community can tell you, I'm working day and night. I have lavish goals myself. I have a goal of having 60 doors by the end of 2023. I'm doing some buy and flips in there to do some capital. We're going to teach you guys how to do that too, so you can be accumulating cash flow every single month, and then you can be doing buy and flips so that you can get lump sums of capital at the same time. But the key is you got to be strategic, because nothing is going to happen if you're just sitting on the couch every single night watching Netflix or watching Hulu. And I'm like anybody else. I like a lot of these shows, you know what I mean? I like a lot of these shows, but those shows are not going to pay and give me the lifestyle, right? They give me the lifestyle that I want to be able the South France on a yacht, for 2 weeks with my husband and family and friends, or to go to Dubai or go to Bali or go wherever. The life that you are waiting, the life that you want to create, you have to do that. You can't wait for the next president, wait for it. You habit of waiting. That has probably been our worst because waiting on the children to graduate from school, waiting on this, waiting on that. You have to make a decision that I'm in my moment and I got to seize this moment right now, because this moment, the decisions that I make in 2023 can set you up for generations to come, right? Every time I buy a property and I know it's a whole, when I say, you know, babies, this is going to be a property you never sell, I just set up generations. My grandchildren will be able to eat from the properties that I buy today. Not only will I eat good, but my grandchildren will, because why? I'm teaching my children as I'm learning the difference between buy and flip and the difference between buy and hold. And we're going to teach you all that here, Loretta. So make sure get on Messenger or Facebook, whoever, however somebody invited you, let them know. Or if those of you that I invited you, send me a message. I will give you a call and we will get you going in this community. It's just $150 a month, but it is an absolute game changer. So Stacey, thank you. I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see you next week, girl. We're going to have a great time in Flint and Detroit. I'm telling you what, I'm like you. I'm looking to get, already working on my next property now, but I'm definitely looking to do some, continue to do some great things. I'm not waiting a month. I am seizing every moment. And I know you're doing the same thing. So thanks everybody for joining tonight. You guys have a good night. We'll be back on here same time tomorrow night. So feel free to invite some family and friends. Thanks everyone, and God bless.